So today I'm talking about fuel injectors. I have a problem with chirping noise when I'm running on the road, and another problem is when I push the gas pedal, the engine starts to shake. So I have a suspicion that one of the injectors or two are cracked at the bottom of the copper seal. So I'm gonna pull out them and inspect, and if I see the problem I'm gonna replace them. So I already took the air filter and valve cover off. The next step, you need to remove this harness, injector harness. So as you see, there are wires attached to the jake brake solenoid and 4 screws to each injector, and the screw for wire harness to the cam housing. And for that I'm using T5 5mm Allen wrench, and I'm using T25 Torx for those little screws. Also disconnect these connections and pull out this metal plate so I can remove the harness. So it's supposed to go out the other way. Let's try again. These come off, and this should come off too. Okay, so the harness is out. Now you see the fuel injectors ready to be removed, but first I need to remove the fuel lines. And for fuel lines there is this 19mm socket or 3/4 wrench. So I'm gonna remove this and these two little screws for the seal. So I already broke this one, broke that one with a 19, and now I need to remove these two 10mm screws. Now the fuel line comes out. Now ready to remove the injector. So there is one bolt over there holding the clamp, and it's 10mm 12 point. I'm gonna break that loose and I'm gonna show you how to pull out injector. This is the bolt. Do not reuse this bolt because I'm gonna have to put new bolts, and since you torque them, they stretch, so you cannot reuse the old ones. Just throw them away. Now I have a wedge like this, put in there. Just make sure you not touch the springs, the valve springs or something, and wedge it out. So it comes pretty easy out. Just tap on the wedge and it comes out pretty easy. This is the old injector. So I got the kit of new reman injectors from Detroit, and they have part number and the code number right here. I'm gonna have to put that code into the MCM, write it down, and so MCM will recognize the new injector. This is the new injector, and bolt and new seal comes with it. I'm gonna have to write down part number and the code of the injector. I also write down the code on the top, just in case that code not gonna be okay. I'm gonna use that code. So first thing I wanna do is to clean the surface and install this new seal, but just hand tight those bolts, make them a little loose, so it's gonna be ready for fuel line. And then I'm gonna drop new injector in. I'm gonna put a little bit oil on the O-rings so they're not gonna be dry, and then I'll show you how to put it. So the seal goes this way towards the engine, and on it says stop. So this is for outside and this is for going against the engine. So I leave it loose so I can put a fuel line. Okay, got the injector, got the O-rings lubricated, have this clamp on, and it goes like this, and this fuel fitting has to be centered between the valves. As you see, it's centered, and now put this bolt. Also, I'll make it hand tight. I'm not gonna torque it yet. Okay, also installing new fuel lines. Don't install the old fuel lines because we're gonna start to leak, because they have compression fitting, steel on steel, and there's a possibility that we're gonna leak. See, it's this one have already rust on this end, so I'm replacing them definitely. This is the new line, part number. Now I drove the injector with a screw and then back it off. Don't push it with a hand, drive it with a screw, but don't torque the screw now, because I have to put the fuel lines, and then I attach the fuel line. Also, I'm gonna make loose screws on the fuel line, and after that I'm gonna torque the screw on the injector. So make sure it catches the thread, and see, I did the hand tight, and now I'm ready to torque this bolt on the injector. The initial torque is 15 foot-pounds, and then I have to mark with a marker and make 90 degrees turn. So 15 foot-pounds. Now do a 90-degree torque. So 90 degrees. Injector installed. Now I have to torque the fuel lines. The fuel lines are 30 foot-pounds each. And I'm gonna use the torque wrench, and I'm gonna use the socket, 19mm socket. Okay, torque wrench on the fuel line, 30 inch-pounds. Now, don't forget to torque these little screws for the gasket, because otherwise you're gonna lose those bolts and it's gonna start leaking oil. So I don't know the torque spec for those little screws, I just snag them. That's it. As you see, new fuel lines. I also replaced those fuel lines from fuel pump because I needed to get access, and you cannot reuse them as well. And all the injectors in, and harness is attached. Don't over torque those little screws, because if you break on the injector, you're gonna need new injector. So this is the old injector, and the part number I was telling you have to put in the ECM is right here. This A472 number is a part number, and if it's reman, it's gonna start RA. If it's new, it's gonna start A. And you're gonna need also this code. Every injector has different code, so it's letters and numbers, and usually 6 of them. It's located on that side where the fuel line comes. So that's the tip of the injector. You see some carbon buildup, and that crack is under that copper wire. Now we go to actions and injector code on the DD software, and you write the part number which is on the injector, and new injector code. The one it's printed on the injector, not on the box. I earlier said that it's from the box, but you have to take the picture from the injector itself and write down these codes here, and then you write down, you just press right, and it's gonna be in the system in MCM. So I put the part numbers here and the codes right here. It's for all 6 injectors. I'm just gonna push right. It's writing to the system. And that's it, finished. So the truck running fine, no more chirping, no more vibration. The injectors solved my problem.